What's the deal, my people? You know what it is, the Don, Tony, Teflon, the lady LMR. We are in the building talking from season 3, episode 4. We're going to go into theories for episode 5, what we think is going to happen and everything else. We are joined by everybody in the lovely chat, but you know when LMR is in the building, you know what it is. So, dear, you are now rocking with the sexiest podcast in the world, lady Don. LMR, how are you?
Oh, Tony, every time. This is like a stress relief. That's I need this. I need this and I want it. I'm so happy to be here. How are you, Tony?
I am good. I am good. What up to all my familiar in the building rocking with us right now? And we ain't on that friendly shit. We're familiar. You know, Don coined that term. That's why we use it. You know what I mean? So let's say what up to the people here rocking with us right now. We got Sheen in the building rocking with us right now. We got the NAB rocking with us. We have Luna Love Good in here. My sister Coley Cole is in the building rocking with us. Katie Joe is in here. Real Life is in here. Girl Carla Way from the land down under is up in here. And she does the most is up in here. Mr. R.R. Joe is in here. Terrence is in the building rocking with us. Delcina is in the building rocking with us right now. Vanessa is in here right now. Jackie C is in here rocking right now. We do have some super chats and things to go on. Mika says first she got her shirt. Thank you for the super chat. She did this before the stream started, and she also gifted 5 memberships to Teflon TV. Thank you so much. And if you are a new member of the Familia, then give a shout out to our girl Mika for setting that up and everything else for y'all right there. Also, Dizzy Guy Explores is in here. Mostly Insane is in here rocking with the Sonic. Your boy is in the building rocking with us right now. There he is. Just Jackie sees it goes so fast. The chat. I gotta slow it down or something. And then there, Azura is in the building, rocking with us right now, and everything else. Glue, Guns, and Roses is in here. He said, "Tony, I saw your video earlier, and how you changed your mind about the cop. How you changed your mind about the cop, and you are wrong for your background. So yeah, I did change my mind, goddammit. I love her. She's great. She's the greatest new addition to this show ever.
They should show her more often like this. Like she should literally just walk in front of everybody. We should just.
I would love it. Listen, I'm gonna go watch every movie she's ever been in now. Dizzy Guy Explores. What's going on? And thank you for gifting the Teflon TV membership. If you get that membership, give a shout out to Dizzy Guy Explores. You know what I mean? Give a shout out to that man and everything else. Come on, Tony, you need to show up on time. How late were we, Elmo? Was I late? We weren't late.
No, today and before, no. We were on time, maybe like a minute late. Yeah. I think they need us, not only to have you on, but also for you to display that lovely background. I think everybody was waiting for that.
Yeah, you know that about it. Listen, it's my new background. I got a new chick. Had to get rid of the old one.
I prefer this background, I gotta tell you. Then the other one from the other season, that lady looks kind of like she's mal, she needs some assistance.
Yeah, she looked like she needed an IV from the Diddy pump. Yeah.
Like she needed something. Or it was a little bit too late for that.
Yeah, she got rid of that one real quick. All right, real quick, last episode 4, you see LMR. We didn't get your thoughts on it. What did you think about it?
I did enjoy it. I enjoyed it in general. It was not my favorite from comparing the first 2. I think this was not my favorite, but I did like it. There were things in it that I liked. I enjoyed. Things I kind of expected to happen, especially when I see a character, they're talking way too long. Like, okay, are they going to be developed into a new character, which I doubt, or are they going to be gone? And how they're going to be gone? How are they going to kill them? So yeah.
Yeah, I liked that last episode. I think every episode has been good so far this season. I can't see anything bad about any. I don't want to, but nothing bad. It's been the best season so far, top to bottom, that they had. What do you think about that?
I completely agree. I agree. I don't know at what point. Maybe I saw a one of those like before they drop the series or the first episode, they have that little bit of preview, at least on my TV, and I don't know which person said it, which character said it, that it's gonna be kind of like a non-stop, again, not exact words, but it's kind of almost nonstop. I'm loving it. There's no downtime. There's a bit of an up and down, but there's no dip. It's I'm very much invested. I want more, and there's no break yet for me. Like I cannot take a breath yet.
Hmm. Yeah, there hasn't been any like filler episodes, you
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean, and everything else like that. My sister, yeah, she's like she got big sis energy, but she is the baby of our family. All right, always remember that. But she do have the big sis energy. She you know, so it depends who you ask. Who's older and what day of the week it is. And everything else. But yeah, there's been no fillers. Everything's been going smooth. We're getting answers. I hear every time I do a video and everything else and everything else. Let me put that up there for Delcina. You know what I mean? You know, every time I do a video, I put up a new video. I look in the comment section. I get the same questions all the time. When are we gonna get answers? We're not getting an answer. It's not getting an Elamar, do you believe that we have gotten the answers to this show already? Or you think that they're going at a good place, or do you think that they should speed it up a little bit?
They are answering the questions that I had about the time, how much time has passed. So they are giving me answers. They're not spelling it out per se. It's not like here it is, here's the guy behind the curtain, and he's pressing the button. Not like that, but I'm getting hints. I think the show, the way they're presenting it, it's for the viewers who are in a way dissecting it quite a lot. So when you
Mhm.
pay attention, you are getting answers. I'm not saying that the viewers are not paying attention, but there's not yet at least this huge big reveal, but we're getting some things so we can have fun with it, and an extra little piece of this puzzle. It's not fun to get, and here it is. I think it's fun to get the little bits and pieces, and I think that's what we're getting.
Yeah, and I agree. I think that what happens is everyone wants everything. This is the time period we live in, right? Instant gratification,
Mm,
right? We live in that. You get everything. You get Uber, you get food delivered to your
yeah.
house. You can have someone clean your stuff up. You don't have to. You can people pick up your laundry. It's really you don't have to really go out and for anything. I
Yeah.
mean, I think that's kind of to me what's wrong with this generation, the kids and everything is that that they stuck in a house all day when we were forced to go outside and play
Mm,
and that was entertained. But now you got
yeah.
all your friends on the internet. You got this, and you don't have to go anything. I think that people just want these answers so fast, but that takes away the joy of the
Mhm.
show.
Yeah.
This show is not supposed to give you one. You're supposed to have to wait for the next episode and the
Mhm.
next one, and you're gonna get some. I guarantee you're gonna get some answers this season. You're gonna get some. They've given us some already. You're gonna get
Yeah.
some answers this season. You're not gonna get them all. You're not gonna get everything. You're not gonna know everything that you may know. I think in the end, you're gonna know just about what the town origin is. This is what the producer said, so that's why I'm saying it. But then once you know the town's origins, that doesn't explain how to get home, how to get out of here, and
Mhm.
everything else like that. You need this thing. You need this intrigue. It's
Mhm.
not fun just knowing everything right off
Yeah.
the bat. You know what I mean? Like me, like the dime. Let me put the dime in perspective real quick. When I go on dates with ladies and stuff, and I haven't been in a while, but when I go on dates with ladies and stuff, to me, the date is a date. I'm going on a date. I like to prep. I like knowing I'm going on a date. I like
Yeah.
taking a shower before I go. I take a shower anytime, but that shower is special. I like trimming the hair and the beard. I like laying out the clothes. I like looking at them, say, "All right, this is how I'm." I like looking in the mirror at myself, like, "Yes, all right." Now, I like the,
Yeah.
the work up to it
Mhm.
more than the actual date itself. You know what I mean?
Sometimes I bet, Tony, when you go, and not just for you, Tony, for people when they go on dates, it's like, okay, all this prep, and they may think that the prep was better than the actual date. So you might
Listen,
enjoy the journey, because when you actually get there, it may not be that great.
it may not be. It may not be. I'll lay out 3, 4 outfits on the bed,
Mm.
and then if I'm not sure, then I take pictures of them and send it to my sister and ask her which one
Oh,
should I wear.
nice,
Because my
nice,
sister is a fashion icon. She knows all about fashion. She knows all that good stuff. So I
nice.
lay them out, and if I ain't sure, I send to her. Then she'll tell me, and then I'll wear that, and that's how I go. But yeah, it's the buildup, right? It's
Hmm.
the buildup and everything else, and I think that's what people need to have and everything else. You know what I mean? I think that's what y'all don't ever get that taken away, because when you get all the answers, when it's done, it's done. You know, when this season's over, it's over. We already
Yeah.
on episode 5. We got 5 more weeks after this week, and it's
Hmm.
over. And then we wait in a year, right? So let's enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
Enjoy the ride. Look at the scenery. Look outside. Smell the roses. Let's do all that. You know, and what up to my man Fandom D State in the building, rocking with. I ain't seen him in a while and stuff. What's up, Fandom? Well, glad to see you out there. Exactly, Luna.
Yeah, Nova saying hello.
Nola. Yeah, Nola.
Nova.
Exactly, Nola. You let him know. You
Yeah.
let him know that's just the way
Yeah.
it goes and stuff, you know. All right.
Hmm.
Let's go through this episode a little bit. Tabitha comes back. Was it too early for you that she came back, or you think she was right on time?
I uh, I like the way they brought her in because I don't think the huge part of it. If they prolonged it more, that would be wasted time, and I hate wasting time or time wasted.
Mhm.
That would be a filler. There's no filler. They jumped right in. They showed her outside. She got what she needed to get, kind of, or who she needed to get, and she's back. They're not prolonging it. I like that. And no, I don't think it's too early at all.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think it was too early. I think that if she would have stayed out there, eventually she
Mhm.
just wound up in a psychiatric ward. And
True.
the cops are already looking for her. She's walking around with a goddamn little kid's lunchbox from the 70s around, strapped
With a
to a
robe.
string, strapped to a string with little kids pictures in it and an egg and stuff. I
Right.
mean,
Mm.
doesn't look like
Not in today's
doesn't look like
world.
that's yeah, that doesn't
Not
look like
work.
you're gonna make it out of Fandom D Saint disagrees. He says they brought her back. The way they brought it back this fast, I think not for Victor's father. I don't. So I know a lot of people are saying, you know, that what she discovered and what did she discover out there? What information did she really get while she was out there? And I don't believe that Victor's father is supposed to be there. I think that they
Mm.
snatched her back because she was in the car, just like Acosta isn't supposed to be there, but I'm so happy that she is. And everyone else is inside there. It's in the place there because they just wanted her, and that's why
Yeah.
they brought it back. You know what I mean? And that's why everything is in there. You know what I mean? So I don't think that she was meant. Other people are
Mm.
Victor's father meant to be it, but I think that's going to be the deciding factor of Victor's father being there, because the bottom line is this guy. If this is all to do with Miranda, and it seems that she's the farthest back we go is Miranda, even though they say that there were
Mhm.
other people there way before her that all tried and all went out there and everything else. You know what I mean? You know, so we all know that. You know what I'm saying? But we the only one we could see is her. So we need information from her. The only one who has information from her is the dad. He's the one who was there when she was drawing the stuff and everything else and all that stuff. So he would know these situations. So I think that his information could be crucial to what he sees around that town, because he's already seen the pictures of it and everything else. And he may be able to solve some of these mysteries. He may even know what the symbol means. He may have seen it on the outside
Mhm.
world or something like that. Or she might have explained to him what that symbol is if she ever drew it and stuff. So,
Yeah.
how do you think? What do you think about Victor's father being back there?
When you were talking about him not technically probably needing to be there, or that was not intended, I think even for not only for Tabitha and his father, or Victor's father being there, but I think it goes for even the bus. There needed to be some people that were meant to cross, and others were just casualties. Like,
Hmm.
okay, you're taking a group to a baseball game with the kids. I'm sorry, everybody gets through the to the from town. And as far as the but the question I have is, meaning if his father was supposed to be there, he could have gotten there before. I mean, it's not like the dude doesn't drive the car. He drives the car. He could have met the tree, faced the tree at any point between those years. So he was basically just tagged along. It was, like you said, I think at this point, because the logic doesn't show. If, like I said, if he was supposed to be there, he would have been there already, unless they're waiting for a right time. But how do you find a right time for both people to cross at the same time? That's a
Hmm.
lot of. They can control stuff in the from town or fromville. I
Hmm.
don't see how they can control exactly the characters or the people outside. They may have to wait until they get to those portals with the tree, the
Hmm.
road, maybe the right time. the right place. They're crossing. Okay, zoom. They're in, in the Fromville.
Yeah, but we've seen him in the car many a times. Right?
Mm-hmm.
As soon as he
Yeah.
pulls up, he's in the car. So if they really
Right.
wanted him, they would have had they had the chance to bag him up anytime. So
Yeah.
they didn't bag him up. So the fact is that they didn't want him. They wanted
Mm-hmm.
Tabitha. That's what's there.
Yeah.
The new watches on the wall says she was brought back incredibly quick. It would have been great to have her adventure in the real world for some time. Could have expanded the world of the show. I think that the problem with that is that we know what the end game is. We know it. She said it. He said it. This is not the only bottle tree. She has built one somewhere else, and they were going to that bottle tree, and they stopped her from going to that bottle tree. So the bottom line is, if they stopped her from going to that bottle tree, I mean, the writers of the show did with the accident and stuff, then
Mm-hmm.
we know that that bottle tree is the end game, and that's why they couldn't show up. We know it's there. At some point, someone's going to have to go to that spot where that bottle tree is, where she put that bottle tree. Now, what's going on? She said it's in the park. Is it? Do you just chop the tree down and knock that tree down and it kills everything like that? Or is there some type of organization that has something going on by the park and everything? We don't know exactly what type of park it's in, if it's in the big park or in front of a building or something like that. But I think that's what they were doing. We said it. They know, you know what it is. It's that bottle tree. They prevented it from getting to it. So the fact they prevented her from getting to it, we know that that's what the end game is going to be. So I understand people wanted to see more, and I don't blame you for wanting to see more, but to me, I think that she came back right on time, and not because it fit my theory and anything, just because I just think that it was a good idea. The Casanova
Mm-hmm.
Fuser, thank you for the super chat, says theory. Everyone in From never came from the real world. The same fake world that Tab came back from is the same world everyone else came in from real. There was never a real world. So I guess what you're saying is that all these that it was all fake. Victor's father was fake. Victor's family father getting blamed for the murder of his kids, his wife and kids, and all those years was fake. The computer system that showed the pictures of the Matthews is fake. You'd have to say that the telephone call that she made to her mother, that her mother is fake. Like all that world is an alternate. What you're saying is an alternate reality where that stuff happened, but yet there's a real world where they're from. Is that what you're saying? Because that's what I'm taking it as. So all that stuff that we seen there is some type of, you could say, computer simulation or something like that. Maybe is what he's trying to say. But to me, there's too much stuff they did to prove that it was real for me to believe that it was fake. What do you think, Elamar?
So the way I'm reading, and I had to reread that statement, that theory. So that would be interesting. So that would mean that everybody in the Fromville, or from town, whatever, Fromville, never actually was outside where you and I are. They were in this other place, and they're just being pulled in, like living their life, being aware of their entire life and their, parents. And I wonder how back that would go. But that's a whole other level of the game, if that is the game. Um, but then they live the entire life not knowing that
Mm-hmm.
something is off, not feeling off about living. I kind of see that very much as like, I don't. That's a that's like a Truman Show for everybody in there, and then being aware of like how far out does it stretch. I mean, the entire universe, the entire Earth, kind of thing. Like, where is the stop to that? So if that's where they're going, that's like really out there. I
It is.
wonder how they would explain it.
He says for same reason the boy in white appears in From World. I it's just too much. I think it would just be too much if it was that was the case. Now, if they're in the Matrix and they all sucked in the Matrix, then you would have all those factors.
Yeah.
If it's a situation like that where it's a Matrix thing and everything else going on like that, then yes, then that's 100%
Yeah.
possible. But I think the fact that they had her call her mother was to let you know that this is the real world. I think that was the whole key of that series for that. You know what I mean? I think that's just the way it goes there. I think they purposely, there's no other reason for her to call her mother. right? Unless you
Mm,
want to say, oh, it should be a realistic thing that someone would do if they've been missing. They call their mother. But I
mm,
think the real reason why they do it is to let you know that they were in the real world and just wasn't a level 2 from situation. We also had, you had Victor's father not believe her everything else, and then she had to go online the computer, and then you see that her family was missing on the computer and everything else. I think that's the reason why they did that. So I think they did a lot of things here to prove to you that this was the real world, and that was the reason why they did it. Again, if it's a matrix, it could still be. But to me, I think she was in the real world. She made it out, and that's just it. Now, what whether they're being held somewhere else, they're in, from the real world, and they're put inside this fromville, and that's in some type of pocket dimension of pocket. That's a different debate in at all,
mhm,
but it could be something like that. But I think that's what it would be and everything. Me personally, me personally, Don Tony Teflon and everything else. All right. So actually, we also in this episode, what else did we see? We see Ethan run outside again like a maniac, and someone's got to control that kid from getting outside and everything else. Yeah, he just can't be running out there the way he's running out there and everything else. That just does not work. I don't see it being through. I think they're saying like a Westworld. I don't see it.
mm,
We know they're not. Westworld is Westworld is robots and everything, and we know that that's not the case with them. Another super chat here from Shorty Poosa. I was wondering if Henry is Victor's stepdad, not his biological dad, and he gives that he was abusive, to Victor, which is why Miranda and the kids. I see no evidence that he was abusive to Victor and the children. We don't know
mm,
what's going on with Miranda. I would think that if Miranda was trying to go to where she was going to, like go to Fromville, and she knew all that she knew from her
mm.
visions, that she wouldn't bring her children along. All right.
Yeah, and
So
she
I
would
think,
pack properly for that too.
yeah. So I think
Sure.
she got sucked up in there. Now maybe she was leaving. From what he's saying so far, they seem to have a loving relationship. You see, he's a alcoholic, a stress-induced alcoholic. It seems like from the things he's been through, and
Mhm.
he still has his son's room the exact same way he left it.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like he's moved on at all.
Mhm.
He had the pictures of them all up on the wall. So I don't think that he's an abusive dad, and I don't think that's the case. I don't think she was leaving him because of that. Again, we have nothing that says that whatsoever. Nothing. I
Mhm.
think Miranda got caught up and the kids were in the car, and that's one thing I know. I seen someone else put a comment in there saying that this is all Victor's dream. It can't be just Victor's dream. It can't be if they say that this has been happening way before Victor was born,
Mhm.
over and over and over and over again. So if it's been happening all the way since then, it can't be Victor's dream. Now, if you want to say that it's somebody else's dream one time, then that person dies and it gets transferred. Now all of a sudden it's Victor's dream. I guess we could say that, but right now I just don't know where that would be and everything. I was just about to ask Tony, where's what at? What are you talking about at DDT? Where's what at? I don't know. I didn't catch it and
Mm.
everything. And he said there was even peach wallpaper in Victor's childhood room. Yeah, listen, the boy liked peaches. The boy liked peaches. Listen, I can't call it. I can't call it. You know what I mean? It would just be hard for me to see that this is all Victor's dream and it's been going on for such a long time, and everything else. It would be hard for me to see it. If Victor couldn't remember his sister, why is he so sure? I guess he meant that she's dead. He says that
Mhm.
she's dead. He says the mother's dead. Doesn't mean she
Mm.
really is dead. If he didn't see the body, I take it like a superhero film. If you don't see the body, there's a good possibility that
Mm.
they're still alive. And until
Yeah.
they show me her body, now my theory is that she's Sarah. I think Sarah is her, and that's what. And I'm sticking to it. I'm going to go with that unless she's in them cabins. She's either in those little tiny cabins or she's
Mm.
Sarah. I'm telling you, this is what's going to be. It's one of the. I'm not sure. It's going to be one of the. So Teflon TV. So the Victor and the Purple Crayon theory is that I don't say that it's that. I gave a possibility of how it could be. If it's taking nightmares from people all over the time, and then one person dies, then the next person takes over, and now it's Victor's turn. That's the only
Mm.
way I can see it going. But the fact that they said that this has been going on for such a long time makes me hard to believe that the whole thing is a dream. Listen, bottom line, they say nightmare in this show 1,000 times. They call the creatures nightmare creatures. They have
Hmm.
dream catchers all over this place, all over the place. You
The
always see
stuff
them.
happens at night. All the bad stuff happens at night. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's there's a good chance that it could be because they keep bringing it up. So
Hmm.
something could be going on here. I can't explain how or not, but you know what I mean. But I just can't explain it. I have no way I can explain. Let's go to this. If Sarah's Eloise, Eloise must have been the scariest person in Frumville at one time. I think that when you look at all the things that they show Ethan with the drawing of Victor and his sister in the tent. Then they have Sarah in the tent with her. They show Victor hanging out with Sarah at the car where Eloise drew the drawings. They say that she's the
Mm-hmm.
scariest person in the town. They say that somehow she's connected to the town. Somehow she's connected and no one knows how she's connected. Our missing poster doesn't mention her brother at all in the missing posters, but the other people posters mention the people they came in there with. She gets connected by people in the town. She gets some people talk to her in the town. She seems to be connected like Victor's connected. Why is Sarah, out of all people, connected? Sarah's the first person that we see in the show when they arrive at From. You see
Hmm.
Sarah walking down the block, right?
Yep.
So why is all of a sudden Sarah so important? What would make her have that connection if somehow her Eloise's soul is inside of a Sarah, something like that? It seems that's the route they're going with this show, some type of soul swapping things. So it makes sense that that could happen to her, in my opinion. In my
No,
opinion.
and also the way that she's being communicated with. Not everybody. Well, there are some people who they're receiving some kind of communication, but yeah, she was at some point very much connected. And I also wonder why it, like the whole writing on her form. But I keep wondering now that you mention it. I wonder why it stopped. Why is the voice silent? Why did the voice go away?
Yeah,
Um,
and they also forced
yeah.
Sarah to draw a picture. We know Eloise liked to draw, and they also forced to draw the picture and
Oh yeah,
everything else.
yeah,
They had her drawing and everything else. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah. I tell you, said, yo, if Sarah gained a little weight, I'm liking Sarah. If I was it's a voice track. Yeah, she a thin one. She a thin
But
girl.
she's what do you call it, athletic? Or I'm
Yeah,
not sure
yeah, she's
the
got
phrase
that
for
thin
that is
athletic,
like a model.
like a high jumper.
Kind of. Yes, yeah,
Not
yeah.
yeah, like a high jumper, not the pole vault, the high jumper. I always say those
Mm-hmm,
high jumpers look like models, look like supermodels. When you look at
mm-hmm.
them, tall, slender legs,
Very
they look like.
toned.
Yeah, I think that's
Mm-hmm,
what her body type to me looks like. She's a high jumper and stuff, so she does look
mm-hmm.
athletic. Listen, people into it, some people aren't, and stuff like that. I'm a black man, so I got to have a little more than that, a little more. Right, girl, right? You know what I'm talking about.
Just don't make her turn around the other way. This is fine.
Yeah,
This
this is good. This is good.
is
This
fine.
works. Thank you for super chat. Victor said after his mom failed, everyone died. Yeah, and that does bring up a situation with everybody dying there, and I don't understand exactly how everybody died. You know what I mean? Like to me, that's just a weird situation. Like if we go on the fact that these monsters were already in town, then that means that people were already prepared
Yeah.
to hide from them to do what they had
So
to do.
they get out all at the same time, right? Because
Yeah, yeah.
Victor
So
said
how
that
are they?
before that they were already hiding, right? That when they were kids, when they were little with his sister, they during the day they would be in the homes, but then houses, but then at night they would hide already.
Mhm.
So it looks
So if
like
that's the
they
case,
happened.
and they
Yeah.
and they already were hiding and everything else, how did this massacre occur? That they were
Hmm.
outside the whole town, everyone
Yeah.
died. It's not
Yeah.
like 10 people like Colony
Yeah.
House. We got a couple here, like everyone. How did everyone
Everyone
die?
died. Yeah.
How'd they find everybody and
And they
kill
were in this.
everybody in one
Yeah.
night? And we've never seen these monsters be that kill happy to kill everyone like that. Usually they kill one person, they kill two people, and then they go home.
Hmm.
You see a couple of bodies here, but you talk about everyone in town. I mean, you're talking about 60, 70 people in one night. That's a lot of people to kill in one
Hmm.
night. How were they able to do so I just don't know how they were able to do so, how to kill everybody that quick. That baffles me. And what do you say? It was when the two cars arrived, everyone died, or something like that. The last time two cars arrived, everyone died. Was that's what he said, right?
Hmm.
And then
Something
we
like
see
that about the cars. Yeah.
Jade arrive with the two cars, and not everybody died.
Hmm.
Right? Not everybody died this
And
time. Why didn't everybody die this time, but everyone died that time and stuff?
I
Why?
I'm wondering if that when he said that everybody died from the kid's perspective, I wonder if is not connecting it like, oh, the same night everybody died. Maybe he says in that time, when we got these cars, then everybody died, but the then is a very loose term in time. Maybe events unfolded of something after that made everybody die. Maybe somebody was poking around somewhere where they were not supposed to, so called. And then, but I keep wondering with that, how did he survive? Because back then they were all hiding in holes and in the forest, right?
Yeah.
So with that said, all this time before they died, they successfully hid. And that makes me think that whoever is controlling all of this, doing all of this, they know damn well where people are hiding or where they
Mhm.
were hiding. They just chose not to kill them, maybe because there was no protection. It was just hiding or running from the
Mhm.
creatures, because you can outrun them if you have enough energy to run everywhere on the entire night, then sleep all day, run all night and sleep all day. But uh, so if that's the case, if they know where everybody was hiding, why did they leave Victor? And I mean, there are only that many spots to hide, and they have all night. Those creatures have all night to literally walk in line and check everything.
Yeah, and they didn't go into that bunker.
Right.
I mean, a bunker. It's not like the bunker is. You can't see it. It's not hidden. It's not
Mm,
camouflaged. It's a door.
yeah, it's
If
oh,
someone go
there is.
inside the bus and go in there, why wouldn't he just grab the
Yeah.
handles and just walk down there? Glue Guns and Roses says I took it as Christopher was telling everyone's hiding spot. That's why Vic and Eloise were hiding, where Christopher doesn't know the hiding spot.
Mm.
If Chris, did he just see the monsters and say, "Hey, they're over here. There's one over here too, guy. Hey, there's another one over here. There's one over here. Come get those ones over there." Did he do that? Because what I
Mm.
take it as, like, she said specifically to hide from Christopher. Don't let Christopher find you, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that makes me think that Christopher was killing people. Like, he's the threat.
Kind
Like,
of like
don't let.
Sarah did back then to one person. He did it to everyone,
To me, it seems
one
like
by
Christopher
one.
was the threat. She's saying, "Don't let Christopher find you."
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I hear what Glue Guns and Roses is saying, and it makes total sense that it could be Christopher's just blowing the whistle on everybody, like, woo,
Mm-hmm.
woo, woo, right here. There's some more in here, right? But they killed his ass too, though, in the end, right? So what would be the
Um,
benefit?
did
You know,
they though?
he's dropping dime on everybody
Do you
like
think
that.
they did kill him though because of that puppet? Because the puppet, what is it, Jasper or
Yeah, Jasper.
whatever? He was Christopher's possession, like prized
Yeah.
possession, and he's in a tunnel, or it's in the tunnels, right,
Mm-hmm.
or in a cave, or whatever that is. But I wonder if he actually died. Did he die? Did Christopher die too? If he did, I missed that line that
No,
everyone and Christopher
if
died.
he said everyone's dead, I gotta agree that he's dead. He's
Mm.
part of everyone. Yeah, I would think he's dead too.
But then why wouldn't he have, as a child's faulty memory, why wouldn't he have that puppet in there? So maybe Christopher was
Because he
not
said,
dead
because
and he's in the cave.
when he was looking for stuff, and he dug up that suitcase,
Hmm.
he said specifically, "There's nothing in here from Christopher."
Yeah, so there was no body. Like he went through everybody's body and collected stuff. So if
Mm-hmm.
Christopher was there, I don't know if Christopher tagged,
Christopher might not have died when we look at it like that.
yeah,
If he's saying
yeah,
if he took stuff from everybody and there's nothing here from Christopher,
yeah.
then Christopher can't be dead.
No,
Christopher,
that's what I'm thinking, and that's maybe
he's
why
got.
it's in the cave. The
You think
puppet.
he's chilling in the cave with the creatures? Christopher just chilling
Well,
with the.
I don't know if he's chilling or something happened, but it looks like he wouldn't be. They didn't show his body. They did not show
Yeah,
his puppet, and
yeah.
we know his puppet is in the caves. But we also know that Victor is saying that he couldn't bury the people, but he buried their things, and he went into this is from this person, this is from that person. Huh? I don't
Mm-hmm.
have anything for Christopher. Hmm. Maybe he's not
Yeah.
dead. That was my like,
Yeah,
really.
but yeah, how old would he be?
Oh my
How
god.
old if he's still
Probably
alive?
old.
But
Very.
we know from Martin
Hmm.
that those worms made him live an extended life. Like
Hmm.
Martin should have been
Yeah.
dead a long time ago, but the worms in his body made him live an extended life. It kept his life going.
Hmm.
So maybe those alien parasites are inside of Christopher, and maybe
Hmm.
that is what's keeping him alive and everything. Maybe it's a situation like that, and that's why he's still alive, that he's in there and he's infected. It seems like the creatures did exactly what Victor did and just took stuff from people and stuck it down in the cave. Now, some of
Hmm.
them things seem pretty heavy to be carrying down, and it may take two of them to get down that cave and stuff. You
Right.
know, I would like to see one of them things bust their ass carrying it going down the cave and shit. Because some
Maybe
things
that's why they're moving so slow because
yeah,
they're
because that shit is fragile, some of the stuff.
uh,
You know what I mean? Some of the stuff is fragile down there. All right, let's
yeah.
go into Jasper because I know I see a lot of people talking about Jasper and Jasper's behind this whole thing, and Jasper's the real big bad, and Jasper's sending all these things. Now it's all about Jasper. No one gave a F about Jasper before, but now all of a sudden everybody care about the puppet Jasper. What are your thoughts
Mm.
on the puppet Jasper?
I was just very surprised to see Victor seeing the puppet move, because it's one thing to see, to have those not visions but hallucinations, but you only see them versus others seeing them. And here we have Christopher talking to the puppet and Victor actually looking at them, talking, having a conversation. I don't remember seeing anything else move. Well, I guess the house moved by itself, collapsed on itself.
Mm-hmm.
I just wonder why, if this is the way the messages are being said, like Sarah handwriting, or literally arm forearm writing, um, and voices in her head, and then their visions, like the Father Kotri and other people. But in this case, Victor is seeing that, so I
Mm-hmm.
am confused. Why would it be a puppet? Like, why a
And
little puppet?
yeah, yes, you're gonna be able to call in. It'll be my number because Phil's not here, so you'll call in. Let me put the call in number. I should have it here somewhere. Did I change it to Phil's number? This would be it. I switch that up. This would be this one. Yeah, I guess this fits. All right, we'll put that up there. So that'll be the numbers down there, the call in and stuff. About the Jasper situation that we're
Mhm.
talking about and everything. But let me take the super chat. Do you think that maybe Victor is a glitch in the cycle of Fromville? Maybe because he survived, or maybe him and Boyd are a hiccup in their plan. I don't know. What do you think about that? Is Victor the reason why it's going down? Is he's supposed to be dead? He's supposed to have died and stuff, and the reason why things are
Mm.
continuing the way they are is because he hasn't died.
Um, I'm wondering that probably maybe it's actually supposed to happen. Maybe there has to be a survivor, somebody who carries some kind of something through, clues. But again, I don't know what forces. That makes me wonder what forces are, um, what do you call it, battling over there. If it's just the people in the Fromville and whoever does it, or if there's actually the good and the evil in there, and people are just kind of just puppets, for lack of a
And
better
it seems like everyone has died since Victor's got there. Because you got to look at it. He got there when that massacre happened. He was
word.
still what, 10 years old,
Yeah, look like that.
and
Yeah,
now he's down there. He's 50 years old. So you may
people
be
keep
like,
dying.
yeah, 40 years. Donna, it seems like the longest person that's been there. She's been there like 3 years, 4 years. So everyone for those 44 years died up until Donna and kept dying. But somehow
Mm,
Victor keeps
Victor keeps
surviving.
surviving. Yeah,
Like
that's the
it doesn't
missing
make sense.
piece, the missing time piece. That's a long. They made it a point of, okay, he was 10, and then he's whatever in his whatever age. I don't know how old he's supposed to be.
Supposed to be
Uh,
50, 52, I think, around the
okay.
55 or so.
That is a long time. What do you do when you have to? I mean, that by itself will mess you up if you have to be on a survival mode all the time. Like that will mess anybody up. Um, but that's exhausting too, not just mentally but physically, to survive all this time and to see all this death. At that point, logically, I don't see how he would even want to connect with anyone, and he connected with a couple people over there. um, so that does not make sense to me. So my question would be, what happened to him in between? Because it's crazy to think that, it's insane to think that he was going through those deaths, those phases. Let's get another car and another car, and let me see them die. um i i,
And
I I
all of them,
can't wrap my head
it,
around it. Yeah.
look at all the cars he parked there, the people who
Yeah.
died. It's a
Yeah.
billion cars. So here's a new family
Hmm.
comes in. I get to know you. Now you dead. Here's a new
Yeah.
family comes in. I
And
get to
whom?
know you. Now you
Yeah,
dead.
and he's
Here's
moving the
another
cars,
family. Maybe
right?
they last. Yeah, maybe they last a year. Now this family's dead, and
Yeah.
everyone's dead. How does everyone die, but you somehow survive this whole
Yeah.
time? It just doesn't make sense to me. It's not realistic. So that means
Hmm.
something else has to be going on here with him and everything
Yeah.
else. If there's no way that he could survive 40 some odd years, because you got to figure until Donna, this is the longest it's been that he's been safe, because they didn't get the talismans
Hmm.
till Boy got there, right? So they've been hiding in the holes
Yeah.
for 30 some odd years and keep getting bagged up. You would think that the monsters would know that trick. Like if they're hiding in holes, you would think the monsters would know, all right, they're in the holes. Let me
Yeah.
just start kicking
Yeah. How many
around and
else?
looking for holes, right? You would think
Right.
they would know that trick or something
Hmm.
like that. They've been doing that for 30 years. They
And
wouldn't
to
be able.
dig them out, you would see the dirt. When did they dig them out? What did they dig? Doesn't make any sense to me that they were actually successfully hiding in holes. How many holes where are like, by now, by the number of holes they would have to dig, they would be falling into them. And then the talismans being in that tree for so many years, people hiding in the forest as well. How did they not find those talismans? It's almost like logically impossible, statistically impossible to not find those talismans throughout all these years, all these people hiding.
From downtown says the bracelet, Jasper, and the music box all moved. Yeah, yes, you're right. From
Mm,
downtown also says the boy in white was helping Victor survive. How? What was he doing? I mean, this is a
mhm.
child. Let me tell you something, man. And let's put it to you. I'll put it to you straight. You take a child of 10 years old, put him in the woods by himself, and see how long he's. I don't care if he has an
Mm,
imaginary friend. How long is that kid going to survive out
mm,
there? You're not making it. You're just not making it.
mm.
There's no way you make. How can that be possible? What are you eating all that time? What do you don't think you're going to get a? You're in the woods. There's no ticks. You're not going to get Lyme disease. You're not. I mean, simple things. You get a
Yeah.
fever one day. You get sick one day. You
Hmm.
get pneumonia one day. Little things like that. There's no drugstores to go to. You get a headache. How do you do these things? You know what I mean? So all these things like that, how was he able to survive all that? And everything. It just there's something going on here with Victor, and I can't put my finger on it, but I can't see it being possible that he was able to survive all
Hmm.
that time, and the boy in white can
That's
help
a
him do
very
that.
long time. And I get it. 5 years. All right. 10 years. Okay. That many years. It's just odd.
Yeah, it would be a little crazy. Blue Gun
Hmm.
says, I mean, the monsters would know how to pop a truck on a 1996 Ram Prix. Probably not. I couldn't figure it out the entire time I owned the car. Well, if you're going in a 1996 Grand
Ah,
Prix and you're in the trunk of that car, you're not getting out if you lock it from
mhm.
the outside. There's no quick release, I don't think, in 1996 that allows you to get out. I mean, they
Yeah.
put those in cars now because mafia people have killed so many people and stunk them, and people have been stuck in trucks and kidnapped. Now you have the inside release,
Yeah.
but 1996, I don't think you had one, especially in the 80s. There's no way you had it. And so if you're hiding in that trunk and you close that door, you're dead. You're not getting out. It's over. You just killed
Mm.
yourself being in there.
But I
Unless
don't think they
somehow,
have problem.
unless somehow you did something with the seat
Yeah.
and pushed the seat and made a whole elaborate thing with it, then
Mhm.
then maybe. You know what I mean? Then maybe I would think something like that would, would go down. But if you
Yeah.
didn't do nothing like that, then you up in there, you done.
And the monsters, it's not like they can break through stuff if they really if there was nothing in the house, like if there was no talisman in there, they can break through stuff like that trailer or
Yep,
whatever the guy was stuck in the
yep.
other
They,
episode. Yeah, I mean they broke through it like that, like it was like poof and gone.
yeah, they
So
went
yeah, they're
right
very
through that
strong. So
door.
I don't think car of any kind would be an issue for them.
No doubt. I gotta blow my nose. You hold it down real quick.
Sure. I'm just reading right now here. Oh, and going back, I'm not looking at the chat right now, but going back to the cars in the different years, I seriously can't even imagine. Again, I keep going back to the number of years Victor has been there and how people were dying throughout all this time. Uh, just thinking about the number of cars, the number of bodies, um like logically I'm thinking of a huge cemetery somewhere out there, and then actually what did happen to the bodies. He said that he was unable to bury them all, and that's why he was collecting those little trinkets from people and their prized possessions and anything that was valuable to them. But then again, so what happened to the bodies? Like I'm assuming either he would have dragged them somewhere. uh, Obviously not, he was a little boy like 10 years old, so he wouldn't have dug up the holes for all these people. That's either one big hole to dig or a bunch of other graves to dig for them. Again, I'm just wondering where they would be, and the consistency of it, because we do see the cars, we do see the possessions, but physically, and I know not everything has to make sense in there, but I am wondering where all the bodies are, logically, because throughout all those years, Tony, I'm thinking so many cars, at least one person in a car, potentially two, because people
Mhm.
on the long road they may be traveling with more people. That's a lot of bodies. Like where are they all? And how much of it is I mean the cars we cannot dispute, they're there. But how much of what Victor is saying is actually just made up stuff
Yeah,
with that?
because in the end, if you're a child, let's say the boy in white is there. All right, the boy in white's there, and the boy in white says, "Hey, eat this berry, you'll be safe.
Oh.
Hey, eat this, you'll be safe." You can't skin a goat if there's goats. You can't milk a cow if there's cow. You can't decipher what water is clean and what water is has bacteria in it. You can't cook a pancake. There's no Mrs.
Mm.
Lou. You don't know nothing about no damn spices. He said that
Right.
there was wild onions growing in. The guy picked it, so maybe he knew what an onion was, and he was able to
Mm-hmm.
pick some wild onions. You can't sustain yourself on wild onions
No.
forever. It's just
No.
no way around it. Your body nutrition just wouldn't do it. So in the end, when you look at this thing, it doesn't unless the boy in white all of a sudden put on a chef's hat and was like, it was like that German lady. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to make the truth, and they did something like that. That'd be the only way. But then you only
Yeah.
have a certain amount of time of hours in a
Yeah.
day before nighttime comes and the creatures come back,
Right.
right? So,
I
so
mean,
you're not going to be able to do all that stuff. It don't make sense. There's no way he could have survived for 30 something
yeah,
years with
I
just a
I
boy in white.
don't get that. I
Something else
really
happened.
can't. I can't fathom that. Like that is just odd.
Yeah,
And
there's
I'm
something.
hoping there's a reason for it, because I really am hoping that they did not just say, oh, you know what, let's give him, let's make him an older man, like in his whatever or something, like, the 40 years have passed. Or I guess if he's 50, then 40 years have passed.
Mhm. People saying
Just
peaches.
because
Even
peaches.
if there's peaches there,
That's a
how's
lot of
he gonna
sugar. He should
you
not be
yeah,
healthy.
and you gotta get into the can. How's he getting into the can?
Right.
How's he gonna get in
Yeah.
there? Well, you gotta get into that can, How'd he get in and everything else? I don't think he had a 35-year supply of peaches.
That was a big truck,
It's a big truck, but
but
not
that's a lot of
35
peaches in
years.
one truck. Yeah.
Not
Because they were
35.
not just peaches, right? They were like different fruits, but I think because they were different. Like the peaches are gone, there's something else. Dana said, right? There's whatever else left, and he's no, the peaches. but it's like that's a lot of sugar. Um, and maybe they even got that truck there to give people food, to have food. And what better way? You won't send like a truck with butcher's delivery because that's gonna go bad quickly. But you send a truck with canned goods.
Yeah, I'm all right. So the watchers are saying that there are so many things that don't make sense. Electricity, phones, ringing lights may not be too hard to believe he can survive. He's also had many snacks. Now, not that many snacks in the goddamn world. Now, listen, the phone, electricity, and all that stuff, that doesn't make sense. It does make sense. We just don't see how it makes sense. We could easily
Mm,
make the electricity and the phone
yeah.
ring that it's just some type of wireless technology.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
like a cell phone, just looks like a telephone, and then
yeah.
well, like that's not hard to believe. Like, okay, just it's actually a cell
I
phone.
mean, yeah, it's just wireless
That's the
technology,
simplest,
right?
yeah,
So if you have a Tesla coil, all that, right? Tesla had the coil that could
yeah.
power stuff, and he figured he could power the whole world. He wouldn't charge nobody with it. That's why it never came out, right? And then they destroyed how he made it and everything
Mm.
else. So we can make sense of electricity and the phones and the lights. We can make sense of that. That's you can make it's an easily thing to do. As for a child of 10 years old to survive for 30 something odd years by himself, does not make sense.
Mm.
That this is it's impossible. It's just no way he could do that. Tarzan couldn't do it. He had to have the help of the animals. They had to teach him, or Tarzan would have died. Victor don't look like Tarzan to me. I've seen Tarzan before. Don't look like Victor. Not Victor's body type either. All right, it was the animals that got Tarzan through. You just left
Mm.
him out there, Tarzan would have been dead.
And he
If it
didn't make
wasn't for
friends with
Babaloo.
chickens.
It had
Right.
to be Babaloo. Babaloo got him. Thank you for super chat. Says, do you think the creatures would ever actually attack Vic? I don't think so. I don't know. I,
Hmm.
I don't know.
That one time when they were outside, I don't think they were even close to him. They were not. I still think that the creatures are killing the individuals who need to be killed at that time. And if even let's say if somebody is hiding, like, oh my god, I'm next, they're gonna get me next, I can feel it, and they're in the house, like, I'm not leaving this house, like, I'm not going anywhere. I think that literally the second that person would come outside, the monster would just, like, go and they're dead. They will die when they need to die. I think it's, and the extras, not just the movie, but the extras, let's say on the bus, the extras on in the car, they would die first. Like, okay, let's kill them, let's get them out, they're not needed here. The monsters are keeping, or not the monster, but whoever controls the monsters is keeping the people alive for as long as they need to be alive.
Yeah, I don't think they're after Victor. I think Victor is safe. I don't think they want to kill Victor. I don't think. Yeah. All right, we'll take the call and see what this.
Mhm.
I should not have put that thing on there. Let's see if this works. Why won't let me answer it? 1 second. Oh my. Let's go. Oh, I gotta allow this new computer, so I gotta allow these things. Hello. Oh, they must have hung up.
Mhm.
Yeah, I had to do this whole thing and everything else. It's not the same computer with it, so I'll just call right back, and I'll take your call if you call right back, whoever that was. But we'll try it again. We'll try it again. Yeah, but it says real life, says Tony. Real life, we're talking real life here. Tony Victor always has an escape plan. He has a gun in his home. The gun ain't doing nothing to those monsters, so the gun is
Mhm.
irrelevant to the whole situation. His escape plan, his escape plan was a rope out the window. All right, now a rope, a ladder rope out the window is not a huge
Mhm.
escape plan here.
Yeah.
That's just something you do for a fire.
From
Real life.
to accept, press 1.
What's going on? You're rocking with the Don Tony Teflon, the Lady LMR.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
All right. I wanted to talk about this last episode and I just wanted to bring some things that I think I figured out.
Okay.
So basically, what I think is that, obviously we know this is a game um, to figure out how to kill the people. The evil entity has his three people that he tortures and does God knows what to, and it's a cycle of what they're doing. So when we saw the puppet, I think that just like with Fatima having the baby, the evil entity is trying to find a way to get into the pocket universe. He can't physically get in there, and that's why he was so happy. Remember when Sarah said that he was able to touch them with the cicadas? He was able to get in there. So, and he uses the monsters to do his dirty work and kill the people and all that. Remember, he controls them. So when he don't want nobody to mess with them, they don't. Okay. So all I'm saying is that when we saw the puppet and he was talking, I think that the evil thing got into the puppet. The evil thing figured out a way with with the cicadas to get into the pocket universe to kill people. That's the whole point. And for Fatima, it's unfortunate. I feel for all the characters, I really do. But it's going to be crazy if this is a way that the evil entity thinks that he can get into the pocket universe. So, and it was concerning when Randall, what they still missing, the cicadas still missing with Randall. So that tells me that they've been touched. Randall, the daughter, I can't remember how to pronounce her name, the nurse, they've been touched. So it's not over yet for them. The fact that the cicadas were still messing with him. So it's gonna be heartbreaking to find out what actually happens to Fatima and the baby. But I think that's the evil entity trying to get into the real world.
Okay.
That's my take on it.
All right. Well, I'm going to have to hang up because Elamar, you won't be able to hear Elamar when she responds to you. So thank you for the call, and we will answer this for you right now. Give you our take.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
That's a great point. That's a great, interesting view on that. Huh.
It is. I would say, that it seems like the Cicadias are only messing with Randall. We haven't seen them mess with the other two yet. Him trying to get into this world, I could see that there's an entity, maybe that there's someone's trying to get there. You know what I mean? Into this world or something like that. It could be a situation like that. As for going through Jasper to do so, I'm just not convinced that Victor's memories is right.
Yeah, I think that might be a faulty memory as a kid. Because again, even memories from childhood can be twisted as an adult. It may be like, oh my gosh, this is like this. But then when let's say you have a memory of a house, you go there as an adult, I'm like, actually, that's not so scary. Why was I so scared of it? I made it into this huge thing, this monster. But basically, time and fear and other things made it even worse or bigger of a scary thing. So I don't think that. Anyway, yeah. I hear a call coming, so we can take that.
Call from
Rose.
What's going on? You're rocking with the Don, Tony Teflon, and Lady Elamar.
Hi, Tony. Hi, Elamar. This is Rose. I was wondering if the guy Christopher could be the guy Martin on the wall. Because all the military men I know, they always give their last name. They don't give their first name. He said, "Oh, what's your name?" He said, "Martin." So Martin could be a last name. That's the only way I think that Christopher could be around.
Yeah, listen, Christopher Martin. I could see that going down. If we would just have to hear that he was in the military, and then we could see that. We also got to remember that when we seen the other three, Marielle and Julie and Randall hanging up in there, their physical bodies were somewhere else, while their spirits, it seemed like, were trapped inside of that realm. So it could have been the same thing for him, that his physical body was somewhere else, and that was just his spirit trapped in there.
Yeah, I don't think I would have survived Somerville. I don't know. I think I would have just been on moonshine and Molotov cocktails like all day. I'm just gonna be trying to burn the monsters and be drunk and high for the whole duration. So, yeah. So I don't know how a 10-year-old could have survived all that time because me as a grown adult, I'm not making it. PTSD would have set in at some point in time. So. But I'm just enjoying the show. All right, let me get on so other people can get on.
All right, thank you for the
Have
call.
a good night, y'all.
Good night. Hey, listen, this comes. The Don Tony Teflon would eventually go Rambo on these things. Like,
eventually or right away, Tony. Like, oh no.
You know, listen. There would just come a time if I was in there that long, where I'm just gonna get so drunk, I'm gonna go get naked. I'm taking all my clothes off and I'm walking outside with a machete and a Molotov cocktail naked, and we going. One way,
why naked?
Someone gonna die here. Someone gonna die, and that's just the way it's gotta go down. It's gonna go there. I'm gonna be naked, put some war paint on my face, and put a blood stain across my chest with my head, and cut myself, and then just go in there. And we're gonna have to get this over. I'm not. All right, we got another call coming through.
Call from
Angela.
To accept, press 1.
What's going on? You're rocking with the Don Tony Teflon and the lady Elamar, who we speaking to.
Hi, Tony. Hi, Elamar. This is Angie, and I just had to call because I am afraid that they're going to traumatize us all by making this the end of this cycle. For like however many seasons they give us, like, you know how Victor said, it's never snowed here before, too many things are changing? Like, what if they're trying something new and then they're just it doesn't work and they're gonna kill everybody off? And that's how the show is gonna end. It's crazy, but I rewatched the show. I binged it, so not the best at remembering everything, but I remember in the beginning how when the people first get there and then the monsters first talk to them, they are kind of in a trance. They kind of suck them in and they're fine. Like, that's just the thing. And the numbers, like the years that were like in that cave, where it seems like there's just different cycles. Did you notice that?
The monsters in the cave are from a different cycle? What do you mean by
the dates?
No, like there were years. It seemed like years to me. Dates.
The dates that were in the tower?
That was like, it seemed like it was like a cave or something. I can't really remember
We're talking about where Tabitha was walking up the steps?
Yeah, and did you see the years?
Yeah. So that
like
was,
it could have been.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off.
No, I'm just saying that it seems like it could have been years. Like they've just done this over and over.
It could be years. It also could be addresses from people's houses.
Could be. I mean, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, it could. Well, when you looked at Victor's address, I think Victor's address matched up with one of them and stuff. Victor's father's address. Yeah, it could definitely be years. I think we'll get to the bottom of that soon, because we know that in the trail that they showed, Jade had taken down the bottles from the bottle tree, right? And then we know that when Boyd did it, that it was the same type of numbers in there. So I would think that it probably has something to do with in that symbol somehow. The numbers would all connect.
Mm-hmm. And another thing that gets me is how they're messing with Boyd, and it seems like they just want to break him. But I feel like Jade has way more hope than Boyd does.
I think Jade is not a leader though. Like Boyd runs the town. If you take, you cut the head of the snake off, then it's easy. Who's going to really step up to take Boyd's place?
Mm. Oh my goodness. That's interesting because it's kind of like where would his storyline go if he just ends up being some guy sitting in the house all the time because now he's not he's not the sheriff.
Well, he's still the sheriff of the
Mm.
town. I mean, Acosta.
Well, if they usurp him because nobody trusts him, because he left Randall out there, and I feel like they're also not giving us what they could give us in this character that we have of Randall. I feel like he could make the show way better.
I don't know if anyone's gonna get mad at Boyd for leaving Randall. I don't think Randall's got that support in the town. I don't think he's got that support.
No, but this could lead to a string of stuff that happens with Boyd, like with Miss Chin. He was in there with Miss Chin, and she dies, and then Boyd leaves Randall. Like, what else could happen? Like, it's kind of like this whole lingering line of a setup ever since he killed Smiley. But one thing I've also noticed is there's no new monsters. All the monsters are the same. Because, like, that cowboy, he's been there since season 1, too. It's all been the same one.
Yeah, they have not upgraded, like, added new ones. I think the mechanic monster, well, the professor monster, was he in season 1? I think he was. I think they just changed actors a couple of times and maybe upgrade them, but I think the actual monsters themselves are all the same. And if they are all the same, basically, I think all we've seen the most is 8 monsters. So if we have a whole town of 60, 70 people, whatever was in that town, I don't know how 8 monsters killed them in one night.
That other caller, she had a really good point about the cocktails. Ain't nobody throwing no cocktails in these holes in the cave. Nobody.
Yeah,
Because I would have tried it.
I have said it. If you have come to my streams, you have heard me say it a billion times. I would go down and blow them up. I would roll every piece of alcohol you down there and light a match and see what happens.
Yeah, because in the beginning in season 1, there were just a lot of them coming out of the woodworks whenever anything happened. It was a lot of them. And so the number of monsters is dwindling. But then in the recent, like, they're just kind of going back and forth with how many they have out at a time. So I think it is interesting that they started talking about what the monsters are doing and Boyd wanting to catch one.
Yeah, I think catching one is key. I think you really do need to catch one. I think that's the only way you understand your enemy is to capture your enemy. And they've already ran the autopsy, so that didn't lead to anything. The next thing is to catch one of these things and torture it until it tells you what you want to hear.
Torture. I think this is going to be interesting. Well, another thing, it's also interesting to me how Miranda had so much information and Tabitha has none. Like, it makes me question how much information Abby had when she started shooting everybody.
Yeah, I mean, Tabitha not having any information, I think she doesn't know, or she didn't know what she was special until he told her that. Right? Until he told her that you must be one of the chosen people, because she said that she had no idea that she was special at all. Now she knows that she is. And so maybe now some knowledge will come to her. But before, she was just a regular person in there until he said that.
Yeah, because she wasn't having dreams before, was she?
No, we haven't heard anything. I have said, I made a video saying that anyone who is a chosen had to have some type of vision of this place before they came to this place. That seems to be the criteria. And that's why I came up with the theory that Abby was one of the chosen, and Boyd wasn't supposed to be there. Neither was his son. They brought her in because she's the chosen, but she died. And now it seems to be passed off to Tabitha because Abby died. But we have not.
Because she died too early.
Yeah, but we have not had Tabitha have a dream, which people love to point out to me in my comments about busting up my theory that it doesn't hold weight because she didn't have one. And you're 100% right. She hasn't had one, but still sticking to the theory.
Yeah, because all of a sudden, when Elgin gets there, they have stopped giving any information to Sarah or Ethan.
What do you mean?
Remember, Ethan was just getting a lot of information, it seemed, from the town or the boy in white or whatever. Like, he was it's just like, but it wasn't the same as how they were talking to Sarah and telling Sarah to kill people and stuff.
Yeah, Ethan got that one thing when he was when he had that seizure. He got that one. Sarah's continued to get stuff because when she went into that one spot, she knew where the music box was at. She knew it was there, but she couldn't grab it. She knew it was there, and when she was walking, and the boy in white was talking, and she said specifically that the boy in white, she wasn't sure that it was a boy. So she's still been getting information, just not as drastic as it was to kill people and to write stuff down.
Yeah. It seems like to me that, I hope that they're not going to do this weird thing, which is my theory that it's the end of this cycle. But I don't know. Like Victor's saying, things are changing. Too much is changing, and too much is happening. Like they can't. Like something isn't right, or something isn't happening, or going along the plan, or something for the monsters, because they're just that last little bit with the ambulance and the monster just laying out in the street, just so they can get Randall. I don't know.
I don't know if it was just to get Randall, it was to get everybody inside there. You know, they wouldn't kill the people in there, and it's just you did a ploy. I don't think they knew Randall was going to come out there with Boyd and all of them at that time. I don't think they thought that was going to happen. I think they just thought they'd kill everybody inside there, and they just so
like
happened.
it was too many unnecessary people.
I don't know if it's too many unnecessary people. I just think that they kill people, right? From what we know, and these are people outside, and they must have known that they were new, and that is why they went out there to kill them and stuff.
It's interesting. I'm convinced that I need to rewatch it again anyways. But anyways, I'll go and I'll let somebody else call.
All right. Well,
all right. You guys have a good one.
You too. Thank you for the call.
So good points there. I think comparing Boyd to oh my gosh, what's his name? God, I'm completely drawing blank right now. The guy, oh my God, the guy who drinks from or who sees the guy drinking
Jade?
from the skull. Yes, thank you. Oh my God. So I don't think Jade is hopeful. I think he is more interested in the game and solving it. I don't think it's like, oh, I want to get out. I just want to get out. I think he wants to get out, but he wants to solve the puzzle. So I think the entities or whoever it is are messing with him and his sanity. So he can't, like, they're messing with Boyd to break him and his hope. They're messing with Jade to break his concentration and logic and thinking by showing him crazy things. So I think that's the point of that.
I agree. Thank you, Fatima, for the super chat. We got a bunch of super chats. I will get to them. I promise you. If you left one, I will get to them. Let me take this call.
Call from
KP, what's going on, man? You gotta turn it down in the background.
Good night. Hi, LMR. How are you?
She can't. You won't be able to hear her back.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's all right. So I have three little things real quick, right? So Taron had a little live yesterday or the day before, and he was saying that Tabitha is actually Eloise, who was kidnapped, brainwashed, and placed in a foster family in Colombia. Do you think there's any truth to that? And do we also think that Henry knows a bit more than he said? So that's question number one, right? Then number two is as we were discussing earlier, that it's like, how could Victor exist in this place for 40 years by himself? I think the answer to that is pretty simple. Fromville brings in new people as required to make sure that Victor is able to survive, which then leads me to believe that there's possibly a prison for Victor. Why? why? I don't know. Maybe he has some kind of power that could destroy the world. Who knows? So that's the second thing that I thought up. And then finally, do we think that, because we heard them talking in the preview, and it said, it seems as though they're like, what are we waiting for? Let's go to the bottle tree and then let's all go home. I think I know what your answer would be, but do you think it's that simple that they can all just go to the bottle tree, it'll take them to the tower, and then they'll just jump off and just whoopsie daisy, they're in the real world? Do we think there's any validity to that?
All right.
What do you think, Tony?
All right, I will hang up and let Elamar answer too. If you obviously didn't watch my latest video because I talked about this whole thing, but I'll say it for you, KP.
No, I watched it. That's why I said I think I know your answer to it already.
Right.
That's why I said that.
I will.
And for everybody, for the folks in the back is what I'm trying to bring it up for.
All right.
So I'm hang up and I'm gonna listen to you guys on the TV. It's good to get a couple of minutes with you guys without the Jeopardy music playing.
Well, that's Phil. That's your boy. That's your boy.
All right,
you
guys.
gotta talk to Phil about that.
All right, guys.
All right.
Yeah, so three things: Tabitha being Eloise, Victor's prison situation, and will they make it to the bottle tree? Good night.
All right. I will say this: Tabitha is not Eloise. I know Taryn loves to say that. This is theory. Sticking to it. That's great. I don't see that happening at all. Obviously, she's a whole Hispanic woman. I don't see that. I think the fact
there's no resemblance.
Yeah, I think the fact that they showed her mother's voice, that there's no way that down there at all. About the bottle tree, real quick. What do you think? The people will be seeing them in the thing. They all want to go to the bottle tree. You think that's how it's going to end? People are going to go to the bottle tree and I
don't know about it ending like that. That would be so. I don't know if I should call it simple, but I think the battle tree is very important. I think there is importance to it, just because of the power we know it has. It was. I'm trying to think of if the tree was a vision that Victor's mom had of the tree in from town, and then she made it into that image, and then she made multiple ones to see what they do. Yeah, I'm very confused by the whole idea of it, and if this is the way to go home, because going through it, maybe you have to, I think you mentioned it, maybe you have to hold an address in a bottle, and it points you where you need to go. Tabitha had the address in the lunchbox and it made her go to where close proximity to where that address was. Maybe you have to have an item on you, maybe not just a number, but maybe an item of the person who lives somewhere, and then they will transport that you to where that person came from or that item came from. Again, that may be a big resolution to all the issues, but that would be so easy. I mean, that tree is visible, that tree has bottles, and it attracts all the attention. And by now, why hasn't it been solved already? If it's visible to everybody can hear it, see it. Yeah.
It goes down like this, and I tell you, people, this is what's going to happen. Remember that Don told you this. If you watch my video, I said it there. I'm going to say it again right here. We have learned things from the bottle tree. We all learned them from Victor. Victor specifically said, the tree, when he showed it to Ethan, it takes you here. I will take this call in a second. Just call right back. After this, whoever's calling, just call right back. All right. So he said it takes you anywhere. He said two things. He put the rock inside of the tree. We seen the rock fall from the sky, land on a thing. He also said it can put you inside of things too. And then we seen the guy with the rock over top of him. We've seen the good of the bottle tree. So it's only makes sense that we actually see the bad side of the bottle tree. If too many people are trying to take this bottle tree, then you're going to see the bad tree. We see the crowd run towards the pool. You see Donna at the pool with a hand over her mouth, and you see Boyd at the pool with a hand over her mouth. Before that, we seen what's that guy's name again? That guy that with the pocket dimension dude. What the hell's his name?
Dale.
Dale. We see Dale having a conversation with Boyd, right, and everything else. So it's gonna be Dale's, because he's got the hardest head, going through the bottle tree, and most likely he's going to either fall from the sky and land in the pool on that car that they always see, or he's going to wind up inside the car or underneath the car, like the guy was with the rock, but he'd be underneath the car there. It's going to be one of these things. Remember I told you, it's going to be one of these things. He's going to fall down. That's someone tried it, someone gonna die, and you can't just have people going through it. So you gotta discourage people from going through it. So it's got to be a dramatic death. Definitely gonna be Dale. He's gonna be the one going down in this without a shadow of doubt.
And they're being dramatic too over there in that town. Not the people, but the whoever controls it, like with the bodies outside, with Randall to show him on top of that ambulance. That they're supposed to be dramatic events and images over there.
100%.
Yeah.
Let's go through some of the super chats. Kelly Johnson says, "Tease, my man's hand skills is ill, but word is born. I think he would burn rubber in them sneakers, sneaks running from the front crease. Nah, yo, my hands is too nice. I ain't running from nobody. Queens never ran, never will." One Titan says, "We're the black female monster that walked down the stairs. They have not shown her. We did see her that one time, but they never showed her again. So that's a disappearing monster." And you want to say they never brought back the one that seduced Porn Stash. She's been going too. They didn't bring her back. So she ain't been there. Luna leaves a super chat. Thank you so much, Luna. And it says, "Hello, Tony, Lamar, and Familia. Just wanted to pop in and say hello. Can't stay because I'm on a mission to finish Tony's book. It's really good. If you haven't bought it, what are you waiting for? Listen, what are you waiting? Take this advice. She's telling you the book is really good, and she's reading and everything else. Thank you so much for buying it. Truly much appreciate it and everything else. And thank you for anyone who does go out there and buy it and purchase the book. Like I said, it's been a long time coming. Elamar can attest to that. You know, because
it's exciting to have it. It's exciting to be able to read it finally.
Yeah, because she was, you know, when I was first writing this, I was sending her chapters on emails and stuff and all that, and it's been a long time and everything else. Rose, what are you saying here? Tony is a one-hitter quitter. Queens do love knocking people out 100%. I posted a video back in the day of me punching the punch machine, and one shot I broke the record. Broke the record of the of the punch machine in one shot. Just like that, boom! I hit it and broke the record in there. You know, no. My hands is nice. That's Queens. That's what we do. That's what we do. It's called blood, guts, and flushing for a reason, man. Let's see. One hitter quitter. You know, that just comes to the punch, and that's what she's talking about. Amy, cinnamon sweets. That's it. That's all. Not in the other way. It says Victor isn't Hispanic or Latin. How are they siblings? Totally impossible.
From
Fatima.
What's going on? You're rocking with the Don Tony Teflon and Lady Elamar.
Hi, Tony. It's Fatima.
What's going on?
Nothing much. So a couple things. I have a question about Christopher.
Yep.
So I was thinking that what's his name? Victor. When Victor was going through the suitcase and he said nothing for Christopher, and obviously, you know, Jasper, whatever, but I was just wondering if it was nothing in the suitcase for Christopher because Christopher isn't really dead. Like, he just collected everything from the people that were dead. So the reason there was nothing in there for Christopher because he didn't die. That's one thing. And then I know Elamar can't reply till I get off, so I'm just saying with my two things. Also, I agree with the whole bottle tree thing. I definitely think it's going to be Dale because he's such an asshole. I think he's going to try to follow Tabitha and Jade out to the tree. He's going to jump through and some shit's going to happen. But I also think that bottle tree, I feel like the chosen one can go through and end up at the lighthouse. I don't think everybody can do that.
I think you have to be chosen to.
So that's my two things, and I'll go so that Elamar can comment. Thanks.
All right, thank you for the call and super chat.
No, no problem. Bye.
Bye. Talked about that a little earlier. She just got here, so we did talk about the one thing about Christopher, and you brought
Mhm.
that up. So you will please repeat yourself about the Christopher situation, him being alive. But
Yeah.
that's what you had said, right?
Yeah, so looking at how Victor was saying that he was gathering the items of people there because he couldn't bury the actual people, and he went through that suitcase showing, this watch belonged to this person, this belonged to that person, and then he made a point of saying, "Huh, there's nothing for Christopher here." And then he goes into saying that he had this puppet, and we already know that the puppet is in the cave, so that made me think that if there Victor thinking that everybody died, maybe a lot of death took place, a lot of bodies, and maybe he didn't see that body and he thinks that everybody died, but he now realizes from a perspective of time that the puppet is not in the bag and everybody's items were collected. So where is Christopher's items? And that, he may be still alive. Not that Victor said it, but we're thinking that Victor does not know that Christopher is still possibly alive and that puppet is in the cave.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that. Agree, glue guns and roses says agree. Someone's going through the wrong faraway tree and falls splat dead in the pool. Also wonder if Henry recognizes the Star Hotel sign. Seems like there was a scene of him looking that way. There was a scene of him looking that way too. Something's going on there. Again, he has that may be the hotel that him and his wife stayed at when they got married. Maybe they went to the Star Motel or something, and that's why it's there. Maybe that's all they could afford back then, and he took his wife there, or maybe on their first date, that's where they took him. We had hotels like that in Queens. We had one called the Q Motor Inn. You know what I mean? When you're living in the city, you don't have these things that people have in the country. You got to go places like that. But yeah, someone's definitely going to go out, and they're going to fall into that pool. It makes no sense for everyone to be looking at it like that, and it's
Yeah.
gonna be there. It's got to
And
be
they
there.
could have made a town sketch without that pool. Obviously, there needs to be, not always, but there are pools by hotels, motels. But all this time, it's like there is a car in there.
Yeah,
And now it would be a great scene to see something else in there. And in the
yeah.
previous episodes, weren't they, who was it? Boyd and Christy? Christy, they were looking towards there just to kind of, looking out, standing by the pool. Why not bring that scene and make it
Yeah,
something gory? Yeah.
yeah, without a doubt.
Fill it with blood.
No, Mayo says, "What if Henry recognizes the monsters? He might from that era. Maybe he looks at him and says, "Wait a second, I remember this. This is
That's our milkman.
yeah, this is Lady K. What is Lady K doing here? I got to get her. My nose is all over the place right now. Once hold it.
No problem. And yeah, so with that, him recognizing the monsters, and somebody said before in the chat, I forgot who said it, that the people who die, but that was also mentioned before. The people who die, like how do they turn? Like how are monsters created? Are people who die in a town, do they ever turn into the monsters? Are they ever? And in my mind, I'm thinking no, just because the people who die, they're completely their bodies are messed up, there are no organs inside, the chest is usually ripped open and emptied, and as we know, the monster that we saw on that table being dissected or autopsied, he had all his organs there, I guess all, he did have some internal organs there, um and it was not empty, there was no damage to it. So in my mind, I'm thinking that they are not, what was it, what was the term somebody used in the chat, again, I forgot what term was used, but they're not put into like they don't, because they would be recognized if, let's say, somebody dies and they come back as a monster, eventually they're being recognized, like, oh, I know this person from when I was a kid, or something like that. Or within the cycle, let's say Victor, I wonder if he's recognizing anybody. Like, I know these people, and I think he should have said, "Oh, this girl, she came here, and now she's a monster." But again, nobody's talking in there, so maybe he knows them. But then at the same time, I think if that was the case, Victor would say, "You know what? They died, and we're gonna see them again. They're gonna visit us at night." And they're not the people you want to let in because they already died. So I don't think people who die for that reason that I just said come back later as monsters.
Yeah, I mean, they got to bring an explanation for the monsters eventually.
Yeah.
I think it would be sooner than later. What's going on with them and stuff.
Mhm.
So again, I think that Victor's dad could have a lot of answers in this place. When he gets there, he may have a lot of things that he could tell somebody to help going on and everything else there. The new episode, no, it's not out yet, bro.
Mhm.
Not yet, homie. Not yet. 437.
Call from.
Rizzy.
To accept, press 1.
What's going on? You rock with the Don, Tony Teflon, and Lady Lamar.
Yo, big up, bless up, General.
What's going on?
Yeah, so a couple of things. The first thing I was thinking about is why they don't ambush the monsters. Like at the crack of dawn, everybody get up, grab a shovel, dig a hole in front of the cave, and put some pegs or shit in there, let them fall in, and go back in the morning and see,
Mm-hmm.
Like people need to start thinking outside the box and stop just letting these monsters just like take full advantage of them. Like, people need to start fighting back. I get it's reckless to do certain things, but if you don't do something, like nothing's gonna happen, nothing's gonna progress.
100%.
And somebody talked about Victor was looking through the suitcase and was saying, "Oh, nothing's here for Christopher." I think the book that Jade is have that Kenny's mom gave him belonged to Victor also, not just the doll. And I think that Jasper might be on some Professor X shit, pardon my French, because he could be controlling the cicadas. He could be responsible for putting those people in the comas and all those stuff. And one more thing, at the cannibal village, the thing that keeps knocking on the outside at night, what is that? Is that the same thing that was dragging the tent?
All right. There's a bunch of questions here. I'm going to answer them all for you. But I'm going to let Elamar answer, and you can't hear her until I hang up. So thank you for the call.
Yeah.
Call back. We're going to answer
you.
that right now.
Respect.
All right, big up. All right, El. Let's tackle him.
So which one first? The what dragged the tent?
Yeah, what was dragging the tent?
That thing looked. I don't see.
People say it's giant spiders that did it. It had to be something strong enough to drag two people.
And it was dragging it quickly and far.
Yeah,
it dragged it way past the village. So, and that's like what, half days or so. Yeah.
I still think it was a tractor beam. I'm going to say it was a tractor beam that dragged them there. It was a straight tractor beam. I'm going to stick with that one. As for the thing knocking on the outside, I would think that it's Eloise. I did a video on it. You could take a look if you can. You'll see it. I forgot what it was, what the title of it was, but I have the person blocked out. There's someone on the trailer poster. We have seen everything on this season's trailer poster except for that one person. We have not seen that person yet. So I still think that person has to be explored.
What do you think? Why are they this person? Why is this person who walks around the cottages only there at night? I mean, nighttime is the scary time. Do you think something happened in that village where it's turned around, where it's actually safer for that person to be outside at night versus be there during the day? Like, is it flipped? Or something like why would she, if that's her, why would she be there outside, only outside at night? I mean, why is she there outside at night? That's what I meant, and only at night.
People saying they think the trees are dragging them around. Listen, it could be. I don't know.
It sounded more like a steady thing versus like, one tree, another tree, another tree. I don't know.
Yeah, it seemed like they were getting dragged, like pulled, and they were bouncing all over each other and everything else and all that stuff. So they do have to come back to that. They have to solve that. They can't just let that go and not say there. But again, there were a lot of spider webs there. There were a lot of spiders there. So obviously it could be a huge spider that did it. I wouldn't say it's not. I can't tell you that it's not. It's the 916. And you know what that means.
Call from.
This is the voice at 916.
Hello.
Hello, Tony.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm great now. How are you?
I'm fabulous now.
Perfect.
I was just thinking about this theory to firebomb the monsters in the cave. I don't think that would work.
Why so?
And the reason I say that is because when Tabitha and Victor went down there were the caves, and there was like a labyrinth almost. There were forks, go left, go right. And since we've known that the monsters are now intelligent, they can have conversation, they seem to be able to put 1 and 1 equals 2, or somebody's programming them to be that way. I think if the town did that strategy and they were able to escape, they'd hide somewhere else where they really wouldn't be known. Through those labyrinths of caves, they could escape very easily.
Yeah, we don't know how deep they go. We don't know how deep the labyrinth goes. It could be huge down there from what we know. So we only know what we have. But yes, there is a lot of turns. I mean, they'd have to be asleep. You'd have to bring the barrel right next to them and set it on fire right next to them and run out.
Right, and still you would know if they were all there in one location. I think it's a good idea, but not the right plan for the situation.
Okay.
But there has to be a way. And I'm thinking that another choice would be like, the box.
Okay.
Get them to go into the box, have a talisman in the box and a talisman outside the box, so they're trapped in a small, contained area, or the bus, either one. It's got to be a small, contained area where they can make sure that they can see every movement of the monster, and they can contain him or her.
Yeah, I agree that those would. I agree too that those would be the best spots to catch them on there. I likened it to a movie called The Ghost in the Darkness, and they did a similar thing to catch that lion, right? And when it came through the door, they slammed behind them and everything else. And I think it would have to be you use that thing just like that.
Right. I forgot about that movie. That was a good movie.
Really good movie. Yeah. Great movie.
Yeah. And the last thing I'd like to ask you about your opinion on is when Miranda, Eloise, and Victor left Camden to go in search of what Miranda was thinking she was seeing, her visions, Fromville. Do you think that she and Henry were having issues before then? Do you think it was she just went to deal with Fromland, or do you think she and he were having issues, and maybe that's one of the reasons why Victor was kind of freaking out a little bit about being told his father was there?
Someone else brought this up. I mean, there is no way to know that right off the bat. He could have done stuff. Maybe he's seen those pictures that she was drawing and he called her psycho or thought that she was losing her mind. It could have been a situation like that where maybe he wanted to lock her up in the hospital or something. I mean, if your wife all of a sudden, after you take a hit of acid, saying, I'm the chosen one and I have to go save these children, and you might think your wife has a problem here.
Just a little bit, yes.
So it could be a situation like that, and maybe he wanted to lock her up, and she's like, you're not locking me up. I'm not crazy. threw the kids in the car and bounced.
Could be. It also could be the same sort of situation that Tabitha and Jim had, except Henry wasn't as understanding. And when he left for work, she left to Farmville.
Yeah.
So it could have been that too. But I don't know. It'll be curious to see. I really want to see the reunion with Victor and his father and see what all brings up, what all comes up with that. So, and could you please tell LMR I'm sorry that she can't hear. I really would have liked to have a conversation with her as well.
I definitely will.
Okay. You all take care. And both of you, as always, peace and stay sexy.
Perfect. You gotta clip that.
All right.
You have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
It's always a pleasure hearing the voice.
It is that. Listen, I see people. It's Dale. It's over. There's no one else for it to be. From the people that were beefing, it has to be someone that we know. Has to be someone that we not care about, but we're familiar with. He's the only one that fits that mold that's expendable right now. You know what I mean? So it has to be Dale. Dale.
He's been talking awful lot.
Yeah,
in the show, he's been and yeah.
Yeah, they give you those lines, but that means that they're trying to get you.
Yeah,
No,
like, oh no, he opens the book like, oh my god, I have a lot of lines today. Okay, bye everyone.
It's like the girl who that got shot. They made her have that argument with Fatima, so you knew who she was. Right, this is how they do it. Now you have Dale.
She was washing the walls, talking about the
Then you have Dale running his mouth. So, this is the reason why you're having him run his mouth. You know what I mean? And this is what it's going to be. And he's going to get up in there. Baby girl says Dale will die for Henry and Acosta. Shoot the lady she replaced before she entered the house. If they want, you say that there's a swap. There's only a certain amount of people that are allowed to be there. So because the one died, Dale comes and takes that person's place, and Acosta comes and takes the place of the other one. I think you could be. I heard people say that there's a limit of people, and they replace them. Maybe
it's like the other movie with a bunch of people, limited number of people in a town. It always has to stay the same. Yeah, unless everybody's dead, like they were dead, right?
I could see that going on. I do think it's some type of Truman Show thing. In the end, I think that's what's going on. I think it's some type of alien Truman Show, and it'll be proven in the end. I promise you. We're going to see. You're going to see it. You're going to see it. All right. I'm gonna. Unfortunately, I'm gonna end this early because obviously my nose is running. I must not be feeling good. Something's happening. That should not be happening. I gotta tend to this situation.
Yeah,
I will be back. All right, before the week is over, I'll drop it. I will do another live stream before the week is over and stuff like that. I know I'm supposed to go meet Real and Taryn, but if I am coming down with a cold, then that's not going to happen. Let me see what I don't know. It never happened. I don't know. It never happened, but I don't understand why it's happening right now.
Can't have Tony be sick.
No, I'm not. Yeah, so I'm gonna go drink some orange juice. I'm gonna take some vitamin C and do all that good stuff. Make sure everything is good and all that good stuff. So if you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, spread this across the realm, and of course, subscribe. And until next time, you know who it is. Peace
and stay sexy.